Did someone say they wanted a LoL guide?
I hope one of yous did, because that's the video I've got prepared. So for starters, the characters in the league are called champions. Each have their own abilities, and depending on which class they're in, will have different playstyles. You'll pick one champion as your avatar for one match. You don't own any champions when you first start playing, but every week you'll have 14 new ones to pick and play from. If you want to play the same few characters, there's a high chance you won't be able to see them there every week, so you're probably going to have to buy them. You can do this either from the store, or if you're lucky enough to open a shard for them, you can craft that character in the loot tab for 1/3 of the price. Champions cost blue essence, a play to earn currency to unlock permanently, and depending on the difficulty of the character or how new they are, they'll cost more essence. So like I said earlier, you can earn essence through playing normally and at the end of each game, or through completing missions or opening them in chests. You might occasionally earn a chest after a game. Those will be stored in the loot tab. To open chests, you need to craft a key, and they cost 3 key fragments. You can get key fragments every now and again if you're being honoured by teammates from time to time, but as you'll play, you're more than likely going to see that you have far more chests than keys. As your account levels up, you'll be given a champion capsule. And they don't need any keys to open, and yep, they'll give you a champion shard. If you're given duplicate shards, you can always click on them and disenchant them, giving you a portion of their upgrade cost. Earlier, I also briefly mentioned classes, and League has 6: Assassin, Fighter, Mage, Marksman, Support, and Tank. And to put it super simply, Assassins are high damage and low health, Fighters tend to be close range and have moderate health and damage, Mages typically have long range damage abilities with mixed crowd control as well, Marksmen are consistent range damage with low health, Supports are often low health and high utility, and these guys tend to crowd control enemies for allies to kill them, or to heal and protect allies and stop them from dying. And Tanks are close range brick walls. They typically bring low damage and high crowd control and survivability to help their team secure threats. And lastly, I just want to touch on getting into the game. So the bread and butter of League is Summoner's Rift, and it's the 5v5. It's the basic League of Legends experience. You can queue up solo or with friends, and you'll play together against 5 other players. If you want to play ranked 5v5, you need to have at least 20 champions on your account and be at least level 30. Now, depending on which server you're on, you may also have Twisted Treeline, which is a 3v3 on a different, smaller map, but here in OS we don't tend to have that always. Then we have the ARAM, all random, all mid. Now this one's always here. It's a 1-lane map all about fighting. You don't pick your champions here, you get a random champion from one of the ones you own, but you do have the option of re-rolling if you don't want it, or swapping with someone else that also has that champion. And then finally, the modes here on the right are the RGMs, the rotating game modes. They're temporary-ish modes that cycle through every now and again. The theme of these modes can vary from either the time of year it is, like Halloween or Christmas, or league-based lore events, like character releases or updates. Think of like the Bilgewater ARAM event or the Blood Moon event. And by finally, I meant not actually the end, because there's still a few more things to cover. So first, Co-op vs AI is a mode where you can play with other accounts against bots at your selected difficulty. And then after that, you've got the training tab in here, you've got the tutorial, which after you've completed once, you're probably never going to touch again, really. But the next to that is the practice tool. It's a super useful tool where you can practice. No, but all jokes aside, seriously, the practice tool is a great place to warm up briefly before a game or like practice interactions. Really just anything you can do with the tools they've made available. So in it you've got things like unlimited mana toggles, cooldowns, gold. Really you can just try out whatever combos you want in the game without waiting for ability cooldowns, that sort of thing. I can't overstate how useful the tool can be. And finally, for real this time, is the custom game menu. Here you can select the map or the game type. If you want to keep it private, you can set a password or leave it blank and people can join it publicly. Or you can play against other accounts or set up bots and have teams, or just join someone else's game altogether. But alright, thanks for watching part 1. Next time I'll probably be going over in-game specific things like the objectives in the game, or getting gold, or getting items, and maybe lane allocations. Might also cover how to communicate without typing, or maybe that'll be in another part. I'm not too sure yet, but I'll see what I'll do for part 2.